Hello, fifth graders. Welcome to science. We are going to continue our variables unit. We are continuing investigation 1, exploring swingers. Over the last few days, we have created a standard swinger, which consisted of a 38 centimeter swinger made from the string, paper clip, and a penny. We tested that a few times to see how many swings it would make in 15 seconds. Then we went ahead and changed some of the variables in our experiment one at a time to see if that made a difference in the number of swings. So we're starting a series of activities that will help us understand how to design and conduct scientific experiments. Just like scientists, you'll need a place to record your observations, and your content inquiry journals serve as this function. By now, you should have your content inquiry page set up to look like this. If you have not done so, you should go into the first video from the other day with the vocabulary words that you'd need. I have mine set up with the topic on the top, what investigation we're doing, what it's called, and then these are the 3 vocabulary words that were on your last video. So if you have not done so, you'll need to watch video 1 again and get those vocabulary definitions. These were the 3 questions that were on the last video. So these need to be written in your content inquiry journal as well, and hopefully you will be able to answer these questions after the work that we've done over the last few days. So what is a variable? Anything that you can change in an experiment that might affect the outcome. What is a pendulum, or where have you seen one? Maybe you've seen a grandfather clock, or the swingers that we made in class. What other ideas do you have for where you might have seen a pendulum? And the last one, what variables might affect the number of cycles the pendulum makes in 15 seconds? Some of the things we talked about were the mass on the end, so the pennies, number of pennies. We also talked about where we would drop the swinger from, whether it was straight out like a 90-degree angle, or less, or more. And those 2 we did try. We talked about having a consistent structure for the pendulum to hang off of. So when we did the experiments yesterday, I went around and taped down all the pencils so everything was the same that way. And next we'll be testing the swinger length. So if you have not done so, please get these vocabulary terms and questions in your content inquiry journal and answer them if you are able to. Okay, today in variables, you will be split into teams of 2 or 3 students. I split those up for you, so those are the groups that you'll be getting in. I will have it posted for you during science. And today you will be creating different swingers. Okay, so before beginning, you'll have to make your swinger. Each pair or group of 3 will make 1 swinger. The instructions, if you need to see them again on how to build a swinger, are in Google Classroom, but you will be creating different length swingers. I have cards with different lengths, and you will just pick one, and that's the length you need to make. I will be double checking the length for you because, as I mentioned, some swingers were not the 38 centimeters. So I just want us to be consistent. Okay, the vocabulary terms that you will need to add to your content inquiry journal today are experiment. An experiment is an investigation designed to find out how variables affect outcomes. Standard is the basic procedure used in a controlled experiment before changing anything. So if we were talking about the standard for our swinger experiment, we would say that we had a 38 centimeter swinger with 1 penny attached to the end of the swinger. We used 15 seconds to verify our number of swings, and a swing was a complete back and forth cycle, was 1 swing. So that would be our standard for the experiment. The other things we changed were part of the investigation. And final vocabulary term is controlled experiment, an experiment in which one and only one variable is changed in order to assess its effect. So like we talked about yesterday, we did not change the number of pennies and where we were dropping the swinger from at the same time, because then we don't know if there is a change, what caused the change. So at first we just worked on the drop zone from where we dropped our swinger and saw if that made a change or not, and we discovered that no, it did not. The second change we made was changing the number of pennies that were on hanging from the end of our swinger to see if that made a big difference in the number of swings, and we found that it did not. So please get these vocabulary terms added to your content inquiry page. Okay, there will be 3 questions to add in today. Which variables made no difference in the number of swings? Well, we talked about that mass, changing the mass did not make a difference. And we talked about the swinger drop zone did not make a difference. So today we'll be testing the length to see if that does. So the second question was which variable did make a difference in the number of swings. So we'll see if length makes a difference. If not, we will move on to other things to try. And the final question to add to your content inquiry page is there a relationship between the length of the pendulum and the number of swings it makes in a unit of time? And the unit we used was 15 seconds. So that is all that needs to be added into your content inquiry pages for today. You'll be making your different size swinger today. And I just wanted to remind you that in Google Classroom, you had the science story for variables, what scientists do, and you received a worksheet from the sub on Monday. That is due on Friday. So if you have not finished that, you need to go in here, read the story, and answer those questions. And make sure your name is on the worksheet. If you need another worksheet, it'll be $50 because everybody got one on Monday. And if you missed any of those vocabulary terms from Monday as well, the variables intro video has those in there. All right, thank you.